Something from nothing.
Yeah, well, to name it a budget for a better America, I have to wonder, have they given up on great? Apparently they have. But he also, the subtitle is Promises Kept. And there are many promises that he made in the campaign that were broken by this budget. One of those being cuts, that he would never touch Medicare, which he does in this budget. Well, first of all, I think what it does is preserve the tax cuts that were passed in 2017 that were disproportionately benefiting the wealthiest Americans and corporations. And then they use that increased deficit because of those tax cuts to justify huge cuts in programs that help very vulnerable Americans. In this case, over $1.5 trillion in cuts in Medicaid, cuts to student loans, cuts to SNAP, and we think that's just misplaced priority. And if we feel we can get 218 votes on the floor, we'll take it to the floor immediately thereafter. Well, I don't know how in the world you could ever interpret it as helping working class Americans. Again, just on the one question of student loans and loan forgiveness, it changes both of those programs, cuts $200 billion out of student guaranteed loans, and then changes the loan forgiveness program, which again benefits middle income Americans. So no, I think this is disastrous for middle America. Pass it, and then we'll see what the Senate does, but at least that will give. So I think the atmosphere is fine for a budget, a deal on spending caps. Again, that's between the House and the Senate, and the White House has to sign off on it. So, you know, this budget, if it represents a hard and fast position on the administration, then we're looking probably for another fiscal crisis down the road and a possible shutdown. So I hope he's reasonable and allows the House and Senate to come to an agreement as he did before and signs off on it. The appropriators, numbers to work from. I think we can probably get this done, but again, if he wants to, if he's going to hold up fast for his wall funding request, I think the climate's exactly the same as it was last winter when we could possibly have a shutdown. I don't think going into an election year, when a president, even President Trump, wants to shut the government down, and clearly it would be on his head, because I don't think it'll be on. It won't be because of what Congress does. Negotiations on spending levels, and there could be a deal where we just agree